Welcome back to Cross Country. We take you now to Mission Viejo, California, where a student has reportedly been punished for writing the words "Any Life" on a Black Lives Matter drawing she made. According to her mother, the 7-year-old girl was forced to make a public apology and was even banned from taking part in recess. That mom is now suing the school and says her daughter's rights were taken away. She's right about that. Meanwhile, in Seattle, a University of Washington professor is suing the school for violating his free speech. Stuart Regis faced disciplinary action for refusing to put a statement on his syllabus acknowledging Native American ownership of the university's land. Instead, the professor says he challenged the students to, quote, think about the utility and performative nature of land acknowledgement statements. A university investigation is ongoing, and the school says it is reviewing the legal complaint. So parents and teachers are alike fighting against wokeness, but if you ask Democrat Golden Boy Gavin Newsom, it's education that's under assault from the right.
But I do believe education is under assault in ways that I've never experienced in my lifetime. But what's happening now? Banning books, suppressing speech, the othering of our students, teachers, parents. It's alarming. I'd be remiss if I didn't speak more deeply to the moment that I think we're living in as it relates to the assault of our freedom.
So much passion, an assault on our freedom, says the man who locked down an entire state for 2 years. Anyway, joining me now to discuss New York Post columnist Kira Markowitz and Deputy Managing Editor of Red State, Kira Davis. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Now, Kira, you were actually the one who sent me the story about the girl talking about any life. Is this just out of control now?
Yeah, I think what we're going to see a lot more cases like this popping up across the country. In fact, I spoke to the mother's lawyers, and they told me that they believe that this is a case of compelled speech and that this could be a precedent-setting case for parents across the nation who are experiencing similar things but maybe weren't sure if it was a big deal or not. I assure you it's a big deal, especially to hear my governor talking about suppressed speech. It's so funny because the real issue here is compelled speech. We're seeing, just like that student in Washington, we're seeing students being asked to spout certain lines or certain ideals in the classroom, and then they're the ones being otherized. And by the way, half the books that Newsom thinks conservatives are trying to ban are being banned by liberals. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of those, which he was holding in that amazing Twitter picture. So, we do have a problem with speech in this country, but what we're really looking at is compelled speech. And that case you showed, Lawrence, is a great example of it.
I mean, chastising someone that's in elementary school for saying any life. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Carol, let's talk about this. This is the guy that shut down the school. You were reporting on this early. This is part of the reason why you left New York City and moved to Florida. So what do you think about this guy being so self-righteous right now?
Yeah, he closed down schools for a very long time in California while he traipsed around at French Laundry. Public schools stayed closed while his kids went to private schools that opened. They masked kids for so long for no reason, and it went on and on and on, and now he cares about education. I really think, spare me, Gavin Newsom. He has shown absolutely no care for the kids of his state, absolutely no care for the kids who can't afford to do what his kids have done, and I just think it's a joke for him now to pretend to care about their learning. He doesn't, he didn't, he won't.
And to move this further, Kira, it doesn't seem like the governor or any of these liberals understand what free speech is.
No, of course they don't. They're not well versed in it. They don't understand it. I'd like to point out, by the way, mask mandates are coming back to California. I'm in Orange County, and we are sandwiched between L.A., yes, USD, and last night San Diego USD voted to reinstate their indoor mask mandate. So the squeeze is on. We're back to square one here in California. I mean, Newsom really is just really a piece of work, and I'm putting it lightly because we're on Fox News and there are probably children watching, and my in-laws are watching right now. But he really is a piece of work. California is 50th in education outcomes in the United States. We are dead last. That man had the nerve to go to the White House and actually receive an Innovator in Education Award. We are upside down in this state, and there's nothing on the horizon that says we're going to dig ourselves out, except, I will say, midterm elections in November, we have thousands of seats, I think 3,400 school board seats open here in the state of California. I'm running for one, and there are many, many, many mama bears running for others. And so we're going to see probably a sea change in California education coming up soon, I hope.
I did get a kick of Gavin Newsom while the president was absent, taking his coat off, walking on the lawn in front of the press like he was going to be the next man in the White House, which leads me to my... You're right. I'm just curious, Carol. Do you think this is a guy can win on the national stage after inflicting so much pain on the kids?
Yeah, I don't think so, and I hope not. I hope Americans realize that this is, a slick operator who really doesn't have their best interests. He picked a fight with my state, with Florida, with my governor, Governor Ron DeSantis, and he said that if you want freedom, come to California. I didn't see anybody pack up and go. But, if he wants to learn about liberty, when he comes to visit Florida, like all the other Democrats do, we'll be happy to show him.
Yeah. Kira, I'm just curious, are we at a turning point when it comes to the parents taking back the power? I know we saw a lot in Virginia. We're seeing it in local communities across the country. But do you think there's going to be a lot of turnout of parents on the national level, too?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And it's going to be because people like you, Lawrence, are highlighting the stories that parents are fighting about. The nation owes a great debt of gratitude to the Loudoun County parents. They started a movement, and that movement has now become something bigger than I think even they could have imagined. So, yeah, I absolutely have 100% faith in this parent-led movement. Midterms in November are only the beginning. There are other seats that will be up in 24 as well. So I am thrilled to be a part of it. I do believe, I feel very positive about this. I do believe time's up.
There's a lot of people supporting you too. Carol, you were out front on this. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.